Hello and welcome back to another Bionicle review. Today we're actually taking a look at a G2 set. I figured it was fitting considering it's Halloween. Well, it should be when I'm uploading this anyway. The 2015 Horde villain, the Skull Warrior. One of the cheaper sets in the wave. This figure was basically made for army building, and you'll see why shortly. But before that, let's start off by taking a look, as always, at the articulation. It's a little bit harder to get him on screen than I expected, but that's fine. Starting off, ball joint on the head. Really nice side to side. Pretty good to the back, too, despite the longer brain stock going on, and could get a little bit further to the front, but actually, if you sort of bend this out of the way, you can, but then he's kind of looking down his own chest, so there is one complaint, of course, the open ball joints, but I mean, it's a skeleton, so it's not quite as bad. This arm is just static, and that's dust, don't worry about that. Full movement there, 90 degrees, ball joint, hands on a ball joint, ball joints, lots of ball joints. This arm has the same articulation, however, it also has a gear function, which thankfully does have enough friction in it that it doesn't get in the way. Speaking of friction, they may have gone a little bit overboard with these. These are friction extenders, which do help with the proportions, but man, why are these so dusty? They are a little bit tight, which isn't super necessary for such a small figure, but I mean, it's still nice that they included them, so he's a little bit more sturdy. Knees, it's all just normal ball joints, so not really anything to get in the way. And a ball joint at the ankle, which really far back, but because of the armor on this side, doesn't get very far forward. And honestly, they probably could have just given this the smallest armor size instead, and it would have looked pretty much the same. I'm surprised they didn't, now that I think about it, but whatever. Now this leg, since they're asymmetrical, gets, surprisingly enough, slightly more at the knee, which is surprising since armor like this usually blocks it, but since this joint is a bit thicker than this one, it gets a little bit more. However, it also gets way more to the front because there's no armor blocking it. That said, you can still get this guy into some pretty good poses. Though that does bring up a slight problem. There's no heels. These feet are fine for smaller figures, but especially when you have this much stuff hanging off the back, most of the weight is back here, and he doesn't really balance that well, unfortunately. Pretty easy fix to just add a little heel spur there. I mean, they even did that on the Skull Slicer, so yeah, unfortunately he does have to kind of be leaning forward a little bit to get a nice flat stance, but not too bad. Oh, and of course the toes are hinged, since they're just clipped on. Now let's get into gimmicks. Starting off, of course, I showed earlier, but you do have a gear function, though this does get a little bit in the way, but you can swing the arm. If I can get him back far enough that you can actually see. And that's with this staff, which can also come out, and because of this on the bottom, can actually still be formed a full staff, which is because you can take this off and put it in his hand. And this is the secondary handle, and yes, from what I remember, they do tell you to put it here. That's exactly how they expect you to attach it onto the back is to pull the handle off and then snap it on like that. But anyway, let's see what that looks like in his hand. And through movie magic, or more accurately the fact that I have two of them, we can now see what he looks like holding on to the bow, which, as you can tell from the massive block here, does have a stud shooter gimmick. Now, I'm not going to be firing these off on camera because I'll never find them again, because these actually work quite well at launching them. But 6 shots, just rotate this gear, fires them off in whichever direction you turn it. And of course there is the final gimmick of the masks flying off, which personally I'm kind of annoyed by, because it just means that they don't really like to attach on quite right, but I guess they wanted to put a new spin on the old one, so can't really complain. Now, how about a size comparison? Well, you can see they're actually decently tall, especially given the price at the time. Anyway, good luck getting these secondhand. I mean, they're not super tall compared to the Toa, but the Toa also tended to just sort of overall have more bulk, so given the fact that you get 2 weapons, and these are supposed to be horde enemies anyway, not really that big a deal that they're a little bit scrawnier than the heroes. So, to wrap this review up, I really like the Skull Warrior. I liked it when it came out, enough to buy 2. I probably should have bought more in retrospect, but, well, who knows. Hindsight is 2020. Yeah, if you can get these secondhand for a decent price anyway, definitely pick them up. They're a lot of fun and they look really cool. Plus, you know, robot skeletons. That's pretty cool. Anyway, that's been all for this review. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. It helps a lot. Subscribe for future reviews. I'm not sure how many other Bionicle reviews I'm going to be doing, but if you like robots, you know, stick around. Happy Halloween. And as always, until next time, happy building.